Okay, I watched Exo Kitty and here are my thoughts. So I feel like a lot happened in this season. We're going to get right into spoiler territory. If you never really heard about Exo Kitty, we're following the life of Kitty, and this is a spinoff from To All the Boys I Loved Before, and Kitty is currently at a school in Seoul, Korea. So that's the very, very basic definition, but we're going to get right into it because we are in season 3. So, season 3 starts off kind of where season 2 left off. So, right where we left off in season 2 was that Kitty asked if she could come with Mino, and it looked like they were going to spend the whole summer together. Well, when we come back, it's kind of where we left off, where she asked that same question, and then it's kind of like she takes it back, or they're both like, wait, what's going on? And so there's this like last hurrah before the summer starts. So this first episode is like the last get together with all the guys, all the people, their friends, before they all go on summer break. So in this episode, we get Kitty kind of deciding to confess her feelings to Mino, and she's trying to confess to him, but kind of gets interrupted because they're with their group of friends. And during this time, Kitty always finds herself in some trouble, but while she's trying to find the perfect way to confess to Mino, she ends up trying on a dress of the pop star he's managing, and they can't find the dress, so the pop star wears something else. And the dress she was supposed to wear, Kitty ends up wearing, and then everyone finds out that Kitty's wearing the dress because I guess the dress lights up with the song she's singing. And guess who's lighting up in front of everybody in front of this party? It's Kitty. When I tell you I was so embarrassed for her, I was like, Kitty, why do you do things like this? Granted, it wasn't 100% her fault because someone else did pick out the dress for her and said, no, just wear this. But I was like, Kitty, I can't. Like, girl, like, why are you always finding yourself in these situations? Anyway, after that whole debacle, she finally gets Mino alone, and they both actually confess their feelings to each other, which I loved. Can I tell you it was surprising? I wasn't sure if we would really get that in this first episode. I was ready for more back and forth because that's what TV likes to do. Like, they like to reel you in for a little bit and then make you wanting more. So they confessed their feelings, but again, summer break was happening, so they wouldn't really be together. They weren't going to spend the summer together. So they were spending it apart, but they both kind of told each other how they felt, which I was so happy about. But again, with the summer away until they come back to school, what's gonna happen with them? So that's where we start off with this season, but I'm gonna go through season 3, kind of hit some of my favorite moments or the most interesting moments in my opinion. And we also got introduced to a new character this season as well. One of the new characters that we are introduced to in season 3 is Marius. So he was actually the guy's roommates before Kitty was. So I don't know if you remember, in season 1, Kitty accidentally got assigned to the guy's dorm, and their previous roommate before she got assigned to them was Marius. So now Marius is back, and it turns out that him and Q were roommates, but they also kind of were a couple and a thing. So he comes back, and Q is dealing with that because he's already in another relationship, and he's dealing with this guy who's his ex, who kind of wants him back. Also, Marius and Mino are good friends. He's good friends with all the guys, and he was friends with all these people before Kitty came. So now he's back, and it seems like him and Kitty are not really getting along. Kitty doesn't like him, he doesn't like Kitty. So that's another dynamic, another like enemy kind of villain in our show for this season. Let's just say I wasn't the biggest fan of Marius because it seemed like he was trying to break up Mino and Kitty. I feel like towards the end he was fine, but I also didn't like how he was dealing with Q and how that was happening and all that. So I'm not sure if they're going to bring him back for next season. I would be interested to see how that dynamic is in a future season, but we will see. So something that I loved was when we finally get back to kiss after the summer break, which I believe is towards episode 2. Kitty and Mino finally make it official, and they are boyfriend and a girlfriend, and I absolutely loved it. I honestly, guys, I didn't think we were going to get it, but I was living for it. I loved it so much, and it was so cute. Kitty had this like bucket list she wanted to do for senior year, and one of them was a senior sunrise, but no one else really wanted to do it. Well, Marius didn't want to do it, and he kind of convinced everyone else. So I don't know if no one wanted to do it, and he was like, well, why don't we do this? And everyone was like, actually, that sounds better. We don't want to wake up at the crack of dawn. But after he had another idea or another option for everyone kind of jumped on his bandwagon, which I felt so bad for Kitty, because she was like, I really want to make this senior year special. That was kind of sad. But then Mino planned a really, really cute thing where everyone came up for the senior sunrise, and he surprised Kitty, and that's kind of where they became official. So I was so happy for that. But I also loved the montage we got of them finally being in a relationship and as a couple. First of all, I love me a montage, and it's a couple montage. I love it even more. And seeing them finally being a couple after they kind of been will they or won't they throughout the past couple seasons, I was living for it. I had such a good time watching them together. And I hope we get more of that in a future season. I want more Kitty and Mino. Okay, another big thing that was happening this year was a pregnancy test. So there's a pregnancy test found at a restaurant where it was like Day's opening restaurant with his father, and so all his friends were there, and one of them found a pregnancy test in the bathroom, and they're trying to figure out who this test belongs to. So there's a lot of misdirects, a lot of things happening, but eventually we figure out that the test belongs to Kitty's cousin, and it turns out the baby daddy is her teacher, the teacher that was adopted. And I was like, yes, I kind of wanted them to be together, because Kitty was trying to get them together, and there was like, it looked like they would get along, like certain instances when we saw them together on TV. I'm like, oh, they could be cute together, but we never saw anything further. And it wasn't revealed they ever were together until this pregnancy test reveal. So when we got that little bit and we saw how they were telling people and telling her grandmother, I believe, about the baby and about her relationship, that's the only really time we saw them together, which I was a little disappointed at. I wanted to see their whole relationship unfold. I feel like if they added that in the show, it would have made it 10 times better. I was rooting for them with just the little crumbs they gave us in the beginning, and I would have loved to see them like try to be together and trying to hide it with like no one else kind of knowing. I think that would have been a cute little additional layer they could have had in the show. I did like the reveal where we finally get to see them together, and it turns out they are having a baby together, but I really, really wish we would have saw the entire relationship. And that's another thing. I'm like, giving me more than 8 episodes. If giving me more than 8 episodes would have shown me more of their relationship, I'm all here for it. I think 8 episodes is too short for XO Kitty. I feel like there's so many characters, and the episodes themselves are shorter, which I'm fine with. I just think we need more of them to tell more of a story, because there's so many people in this show, and I want all of their stories. We also had a cameo from Lara Jean herself, which I absolutely loved, and we kind of got a little info on her and Peter's relationship currently. They're both bi-coastal currently. I believe Peter's still in California and Lara Jean's in New York, but they're still trying to make their relationship work. But it seems like there's like a rough spot that they have, and they're trying to get through that. And Lara Jean's kind of debating, like, will they be together, won't they be together? But eventually we get Peter and Lara Jean back together, because honestly, they are meant to be. So I like that we got a little bit of cameo from Lara Jean. I feel like in every season we had a cameo from someone, which I have been loving. So who will be our cameo in the next season? I don't know. No idea, but I'm excited. Another thing I liked this season was Day's storyline. I'm not gonna lie. Once Day and Kitty were no longer together, I feel like I liked him more. And I have been loving his storyline so much. He has really become one of my favorite characters to watch. I really liked we got to see him in a different relationship with someone, and how they both talked about their feelings for each other, and kind of going more in depth with that. I just really enjoy seeing Day, and we kind of get to see him in a different light this year, because he's no longer super poor or like have to work so hard. Now, because of what happened with his family, they have money and they're trying to make more name for themselves, so he's in a different position than he has been in past seasons. So we're seeing a different side of Day, but I don't know, Day is just a great character, a great guy, and I have been enjoying seeing him grow. And I like seeing his friendship with Gia as well, because he really doesn't have to do any of that. And I know they definitely have a history and their lives have been intertwined for a while, but I love seeing their friendship. I like seeing that grow as well. And I don't know. I really like Day this season, and I have been liking him for a while. So I hope we get to see more of him, and I hope we get to see more of his romantic relationship as well. Now that he's not with Kitty, doesn't mean I don't want to see Day have a happily ever after. Okay, so another big moment in the show was that Mino and Kitty do break up, which was really sad. And honestly, I think, in my opinion, I do think Mino was at fault as well. I don't know. I feel like in the show it was kind of painted that it was all Kitty's fault, and I do believe they should have had a conversation and should have just, instead of rushing into a judgment. But I'm not gonna lie, there were some signs. Mino was being suspicious, and there were things he lied about that I don't think he should have lied about, or he didn't need to lie about. So I think they were both kind of at fault for what happened to them. I feel like there should have been better communication, and I think if you want to have a good, healthy relationship, you need to have that. So hopefully after this whole thing, they can communicate better, talk about things before jumping to conclusions. But it was really sad. Like, Kitty, well, the reason for the breakup was because the pregnancy test thought Mino cheated on her, got someone else pregnant. Turns out he didn't. He was just keeping a secret for a friend. But when she asked him certain things, he didn't lie about where he was when she saw him. And I feel like he didn't need to lie about that. He could have said, oh, I was with blah, 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 just like helping her out, because he is her manager. He is a part of her team. He could have made up a lie that was better, but he just lied saying he wasn't with her at all. So that was sus, and I understand why Kitty would be upset. But she just came in there guns a-blazing and was like, how could you basically blame him without talking to him? And I'm like, Kitty, no. Y'all need to sit down and have this conversation. You can't just be coming at him like this. So I believe they were both at fault. And I don't think it was one whole person. I think there were both things they could have done. I did like the fashion show scene where Day and Gia kind of did a little matchmaking and got Mino and Kitty in the same room together so they could talk. So yeah, I love that. I think it was so cute because they were like, oh, Kitty, like, how do you get two people together who don't want to be together? Like, how do you do your matchmaking stuff? That was so cute. It was so like rom-com coded. I was loving it. And then they actually did the thing she does to get her together with Mino. So I love that. So yeah, that was the scene that I enjoyed. And I liked seeing, again, I liked Day and Gia's relationship and them working together. And they were like, we need to get them back together. Because they know Mino and Kitty need to be together. And they're both stubborn. So someone had to push them into it. So that was another cute scene. And can we please talk about probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie? And that was the finale. When Mino is running to Kitty. Oh my goodness, guys, like, I can't. So, of course, we get the classic romance when he's running to his girl. Like, she's on a train, she's on a plane, blah, blah, blah. Well, Kitty's on her way home, taking, I believe, like, the train or the subway with her suitcase, and she's leaving, and Mino runs to her. So he's trying to catch up with her, trying to find her, and he finds her. And then they have this cute little, well, not cute little, and then they go to each other and they kiss, and it's like, yes, one of the best ways in the season. Like, they just have their little make out sesh in the middle of the train station, whatever. But when I tell you that was so romance coded, I was kicking my feet, screaming, laughing, giggling, loving every minute. Yes, like, as a romance girly, that's all I needed and wanted. So I love, that's such a good scene. You could tell whoever wrote this has seen many romance movies. So good. So good. I love that scene, guys. I can't. The kiss. Oh my goodness, that kiss. So yeah, I enjoyed myself season 3. Season 3, so good. So my rating for this season of XO Kitty will be 3.5. I think it was a good season. I think it did a lot of things really well. I'm very happy with the kind of the pacing, how they didn't leave us hanging too much. There were definitely things I wish they gave more of. I think the show needs to be longer than 8 episodes. I think 8 episodes is too short for the story they're telling and trying to tell. I think there were so many things as a viewer I wanted more of, and they could have given us more with a couple more episodes. I do think this is a show that would thrive on at least 13 episodes with just fleshing out a couple more stories. One being Day's relationship. I think we could have done more with that, like been a little sneaky a little bit more context and kind of like, oh, who Day is Day seeing, or who's this and that. I think we could have got a little bit more because I enjoy Day. I think we could have got more of the cousin and the teacher relationship as well. I would love to see that taking place and maybe Kitty being involved in that, thinking that there's something between them and not figuring out, or they're trying to trick her, but Kitty knows love. I don't know. I think just 8 episodes is not enough for this particular show. I want a season 4 so bad. I need to see what happens. I don't want this show to end with 4 seasons. I think it could go further. I think we could see these people into their college life. Like right now they're in high school. I think seeing them in the college would be even more fun and kind of like a revamp for the show maybe. Like maybe they're all going to different schools, but they meet up for the summer or something. Don't know. I think that'd be really cool and really fun and something to think about. I have been enjoying XO-Kitty. I hope we get more of it. Again, I want more than 4 seasons, but I have a feeling they're probably going to end with a season 4, unfortunately, but I feel like there's a lot more these characters can do and grow. But yeah, that is it for me for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did see season 3 of XO-Kitty, what did you think? And what do you want to see in future seasons? Let me know. I have my ideas. Let me know yours. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, week, month, and hopefully a good rest of your year. And until next time, bye.